behind the world ranked #2 Ma Long. So we'll get into the coin toss here to determine where the players stand and who serves. Ma Long chooses red. Receive he chooses, so cvetko will start with the serves. Ma Long checks the ball. Can we get a new one, he says? I like it. Ma Long has given speeches in English. His English is really excellent. His Chinese is even better, though, so typically that will be what he uses to do interviews and give speeches. How fast he was to recognize that the ball had something slight imperfection there. 33 years old, 34 on October 20th. He's world ranked #2, the most dominant player in the game, Ma Long. He is the brain of the game, a mind on a different planet. He's taken every title you can imagine, more titles than anybody in the world. What, 87% of his matches won with 500+ matches? Well, I'm your commentator, Adam Bobrow. Joining me in the commentary booth, Fraser Riley. Fraser, how about Tilen cvetko?
I haven't really seen much of him, to be honest, but what a better catalyst to see his level against the greatest to ever have a bat in his hand. And Ma Long's played more four-round winners than I've had hot dinners.
More than you've had dinners?
Yeah, probably.
23, right? We need to talk to your parents. All right, head-to-head here, the first meeting, Ma Long and Tilen cvetko. That Ma Long, a little bit of a smile in this picture. I think that's probably the most distracting thing on screen. A man with such tunnel vision. A little bit of charm there. He is a teddy bear off the table. 17 years a pro, and the world hopes for 17 more. We'll take what we can get. Had been world #1 more than anybody in the game, at least currently on the men's side. I think Deng Yaping spent 7.5 years consecutively at world #1, despite being told that she was too short to play for the Chinese national team. Interestingly enough, Chih-Yuan told the same thing.
Wow.
Said, we've got enough pen holders, you're too short. So Chih-Yuan was the first to put some pips on the backhand side of her racket. But best of 5, here we go, cvetko to start it off. Good placement here and pressure. Best of 5 means first player to win 3 games will win the match. Ma Long, the heavy favorite to do just that.
It's a very nice combination there. One advantage that cvetko does have is that he's a lot less studyable than Ma Long.
Yeah, you got to know somebody in the inside. Got to have a Slovenian video dealer take care of you.
Imagine a black market for table tennis.
I was just thinking, you know, hey, I'm from Team China. We're looking for some videos of this cvetko guy, Tilen cvetko. You got something for me? Yeah. Meet me in the alley at 9 p.m. Come alone. Oh, the angle here sees the opening, but really quick to turn that corner and exploit the opening on the table.
Nice shot touch.
And he disguises well, too. The way he pulled back, it was tough to tell where he was going to go. Good deception on the backhand serve.
Evidently, yeah, because if Ma Long knew that serve was coming, he would have definitely hit a winner there, but because of the deception level.
Right, and also how difficult it is to read the details of what spin is on it. Goes for broke, takes his chances. There was no coming back from that, but fortunately for cvetko, no need.
All cards on the table, pulls an ace forehand.
Tom Cruise, you seeing it?
Not particularly.
Okay, think it next time you see him in that face, in that moment. He's taking his chances. Some good punch shots, soft blocks for placement where he needs it. He's trying to set up some positioning here. High backhands are not easy. Ma Long has to jump to get on top of that.
You're usually very good with your analogies of how people look similar, so I'm sure I will begin to see a few similarities occur. Won't be a cruise against Ma Long, though.
I like it. No boat against the goat. So, It's interesting. We don't normally see toweling off at this point. No one said anything to Ma Long just yet.
Imagine being an umpire and a fan of the game and faulting our yellow card in Ma Long.
It's happened. Not long ago. I mean, at the Olympic Games, Ma Long has been faulted. Definitely against Liam Pitchford in 2018 in Bulgaria, one of the first big wins by a foreigner to sort of lead to Ma Long getting his surgery.
Wow.
Took some time off after that, came back for the Men's World Cup, but he's up here by 1, Ma Long.
We're just looking at each other.
Yeah, no, it's such a great time to be alive. These forehands, when Ma Long, everything, the technique, where he goes, what he can do, the versatility in his game. First shot fairly standard, second one just turned up a notch.
Wow.
Very smart play, gutsy to play it soft when he saw Ma Long backing off.
A lot of variation there. I mean, that ball was so slow and spinning.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit like a mission impossible, but he was able to set it up by leaving it down low in front of Ma Long and then following up with the big attack. You see it now?
That's very, very good, yeah.
Thanks.
Particularly in the upper half of the face.
I think especially like the face part of the face. Just looks like his face. Today was a very big day. Jerry Maguire. Anyway, 5-7, he's back within 1 point at the second towel break here. Ma Long keeping the hand cool for full grip on the racket blade, or the handle rather. Smart placement. Now, when Ma Long came back from his knee surgery in 2019, I felt like the one place that was sort of his Achilles heel was the wide forehand. Like he didn't trust himself to push off.
That's how players like Tomokazu Harimoto have been able to beat him. That backhand down the line, right?
It's definitely one way and a good flick out wide early in the point. Who dares go there? Who dares to soften it up, to side swipe from under the table, pulls a Chih-Yuan swiper here, just drags the hand, and then explodes into the middle?
Against the gut.
I'm loving Cvetko right now.
He's flying.
Sure is. That's a pun. I'll ask you about it in a minute.
8-7.
Is Cvetko an airline name?
I don't even know.
All right, either way, Ma Long up by 1.
Flying. Tom Cruise.
Oh,
It was more simple than you think.
right. He's been in planes before. Top of the net and just barely missing. So Ma Long up by 2. It's funny, no matter how you start a game, and as we've sort of talked about, some of the Chinese players have, it almost seems like they're surveying, just sort of getting a sense of what the opponent can do before they really sort of hone in and shut down the game. Oh, that one. Hurricane. It is just gone with the wind when he rocks back like that. That stroke is so iconic and smooth. 3 game points now for the Dragon. But he's putting up a strong fight with some quality shots here. Cvetko on top of everything in this rally.
An incredibly strong game here from the Slovenian.
It's smart. That block was shallow on the table to take away the power from Ma Long, force him to play it from lower under the table.
Definitely earned a fan in me, Cvetko here.
That is it. Ma Long 11-8 takes game number 1 in this best of 5. He's got 2 more to go. If Cvetko cannot stop him, it will be Team China. After all, China leading 2-0 over Slovenia in the team tie. But in this match here, it's 1-0 for Ma Long. Cvetko on his way with 8 points. We'll see what happens. Game 2 coming up right after this.
Pomysł Chih-Yuan, że potem sobie żeby zasłonę będą paralelnie z boku. Wiem tak, samodzielnie.
Second game, China to serve. Love all.
Players back to the table for game number 2. Ma Long in red representing Team China and table tennis globally. I feel like the depth of every shot that is played here from Cvetko is just quite mindful. He's really doing the in and out quite well. Shows a lot of intention with every shot. The warning was ball falls behind your head.
Love 1.
Ma Long just trying to get some clarity there. It's interesting because the serve hasn't changed much over the years, but fair call. Interesting. I was actually thinking that we might have just seen a fault, that we might hear something. Serve looked very similar. Ma Long calling for a cleaning. I was just thinking in terms of power play here, hypothetically, there are a lot of things you can do as a player. Now, no one's trying to upset anyone. Everyone's doing their best job. But in theory, if you didn't like a call, you're like, a little bit of sweat on the table. Why don't you get up here and clean it?
That's brilliant. Can you imagine?
Yeah, if I were to make a comic book, that would be part of it just to thicken the plot. But Ma Long's fair, square, and super kind. And good pressure here to cover the wide forehand. Good spin on the backhand here from Cvetko. Just not enough surprise factor. Tough to shut down and surprise the most experienced, well-rounded player in the game, the greatest of all time. Little help from the top of the net there. Ma Long acknowledging the fortune. He's playing by the rules completely. It's partially his haircut. It's partially the fact that he's working hard out here, but sweat will fly. And with the proper protocol, you cannot touch the table. You're not supposed to. You won't lose the point, but for sake of hygiene, they're asking players not to wipe or touch the table.
The backhand of Ma Long has always fascinated me, Adam.
Me too. Tell me why for you.
It's really hard to explain. It's quite a unique thing. Obviously, it's really dictated by the grip, which is obviously perfect. But it's obviously known as more of a security shot. I mean, what isn't going to be compared like that against the forehand side? But it's such a good backhand.
Right, it's very divisive. He's very controlled, very comfortable, and very tricky. It's not explosive like Fan Zhendong's. While he can rip a backhand from time to time, he's crafty. He guides. It just feels like it sees all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the eye in the sky. Like his backhand can just sort of control what it needs to. Just put a little switch on it.
Yeah, that's the sort of crystal ball backhand, and the forehand's the eye of Sauron.
Yeah. That said, Cvetko there with a good side spin serve. Gets the point against the backhand.
7-2.
Taking care of business quickly. Not calling up the assistant on that one. Assistant umpire, that is.
It's the point construction there.
2-8.
I mean, Ma Long knew that he probably could have finished that on this forehand, but instead he just plays a shot that he knows he's going to put just enough pressure on to set up one that he definitely knows he can put away.
And that last one, again, it wasn't for power. Placement, side and topspin made it very awkward and uncomfortable to float back.
How much does it say about the composure of a player who knows he's played more winners than anybody else, but yet he doesn't always choose to?
Well, I think that's a big part of his success, that he is so versatile. He's got so many different strengths that he doesn't have to rely on any one. So once you've shut down one, he's got tons of others to pull out.
8-4.
That said, he's using the in and out, at least Cvetko is using the in and out tactics very well to make it less comfortable for Ma Long. What are you thinking?
I think it's easy for this to become the Ma Long show, and it physically is, but I mean, in terms of our commentary, Cvetko has played a very good match. There hasn't been an ounce of disappointment in his face. He's thriving under the surroundings against his opponent. And I respect in him that he's not showing too much respect to Ma Long.
Like he's not idolizing him in this moment. He's coming to the table with a very respectful fight as an equal.
Yes.
We're two athletes here on a work day looking to do our job.
Yeah.
My job might be a little bit tougher than yours at this point in time, but I'm going to fight and I'm going to show up and do the best I can for my team.
4-10.
While it's no easy job for Ma Long, he's got 6 game points here to take a 2-0 lead.
5-10.
Yeah, what you were talking about in terms of the Ma Long show, the real deal is Cvetko has played an incredible match. I mean, he's a very respectable opponent. And while the score might not be dead even, Ma Long winning this one here 11-5, we know that we've got a lot to look forward to and see how Ma Long does what he does. And if Cvetko can string enough points together to get to 11 first with a 2-point lead to extend this match, if Ma Long takes one more game, Team China once again has closed the door in a 3-0 victory. Stay right here to find out. Game 3 coming up right after this.
Probaš, ne daš tekme. Ja, probaj.
Third game, Slovenia to serve, love all.
Players back for game number 3. Tilen Cvetko with the serves for Slovenia. Clever idea there. Now remember, the player in blue, Cvetko of Slovenia, down 0-2 in games, must win this game to extend the match. Beautiful deception there. Ma Long side swiping the ball in the forehand flick. Fast long serve, well received. When the ball comes in so fast, you don't need to do as much to it, but being ready and figuring out your placement to not give an easy third ball. There was a big backhand. That is the biggest swing off a backhand I've seen from Ma Long in a long, long time. Watch this one more time. He's got the height, full rip. I mean,
boom.
Yeah, that was Jorgic explosion level.
One, 4.
You can't imagine whatever that translated to was I like ice cream. Timeout here. 3 points down. Cvetko will conversation with the boys in digital, Coach Oystershek.
Sve fajn. Samo pač. Znaš kaj nekaj film? Tam da igra tek za pol moči, ali pa ga ne more.
Zdaj sta dekam. Moraš eno razjeti. Eno mora eno kupa, da bo tudi. Isto kot je on zjeti.
Ja, tako pere na treningu, a?
It seemed like they said, you got to go for the snake. I mean, you could see them wiggling their hands there and laughing.
Can you imagine?
I mean, I'm sort of curious what you thought, but what a statement to go back during a timeout. And your teammates, he must have initiated the laughter, saying, like, what can I really do here?
It's a good moment. Something that I think even the Chinese fans would appreciate, seeing that as well.
Yeah. It's also funny, I think, with Coach Oystershek there in the coach's chair digitally, that she was just sort of sitting there with the triangle fingers up near the mouth, just waiting. You have to imagine she was communicating with the team during the match, and that they have to sort of pass on the message.
Yeah, that's the gist that I got from that too.
Top edge of the racket for Ma Long. A little bit more passive play. cvetko just guiding it back on the table. A little bit more than blocking. Yeah, not much. And that replay, standard for blocking at this level. It's funny, it feels like drills right now. The way he's playing the points, it's like 2 to the backhand, 1 to the forehand, I'll block 1. I mean, it really feels like practice play, but the quality of the spin, cvetko changing it up quite well to keep it somewhat uncomfortable and not so rhythmic. Ma Long decides. He snaps his fingers, and like that, it is over.
That's the rhythm. I mean, that he will have replicated that millions of times in training.
So extending his lead to 4 points here, Ma Long. Just 4 points away from closing the door.
Half-long serve there, and he was indecisive there, cvetko. That's the beauty of that length of the serve that Ma Long just played there. You can see the logo on the ball fairly clearly, so you can see it was a float serve. You'd be surprised, actually, how often Chinese players will serve with no spin.
No, that's got to be the side of the table. Goes for the around the net shot. Now this is another urban myth. You don't have to hit the ball over the net in table tennis. It's most often the most common, easy way to do it. But you're sure welcome to hit around if you can see the table that way. Ma Long, if he hits a roller on that shot, it wouldn't be the first time, but sure would be pretty. A treat for all the spectators. Nice pattern here. Trying to put some authority behind each shot, but not every shot. So one, and then he'd go soft and then come back again and try to jab in.
One of the rare times you'll see Ma Long play a backhand push. He stands so biased towards the backhand, usually he'll come around and touch with the forehand.
Interesting, interesting. Well, 6 match and overall team tie points now for Ma Long. Is it exhibition? Oh, that drop shot. Dropped and run. Ma Long just demonstrated. Look at the smile. Cvetko with a great smile coming in, as if to say, I just shook hands with the greatest player that table tennis has ever seen. This is going to be on everything that I can possibly post, and high fives all around. China closing the door 3-0 over the second seeds in the group, Slovenia. So China will be moving on at this point. It's tough to imagine from the start that the defending champions wouldn't into the round of 16, the knockout phases. But what does this mean overall for the standings? Well, as you enjoy Ma Long smashing with the red side of his racket on the forehand, as Chinese players tend to do against lobs for that extra spring, because the black side is the spinny side, and the backhand, well, let's say the rubber on the backhand tends to be more springy and